So, Isaac, welcome. It's going to be so great to work with you as a soloist pretty soon.
It's a really exciting opportunity to do the Haydn D with everyone out in Stockton in a few weeks.
We've been working together with you as the associate principal cellist of the Stockton Symphony for several years now. And so, before we get into your solo career, I think you probably have the distinguished position of being in the most freeway philharmonic freelance orchestras of practically any cellist I know.
Well, you can count them on two hands, but barely. This is a game my friends and I play all the time is who can list all the orchestras Isaac plays in.
Okay.
In no particular order, Stockton Symphony, of course, associate principal, Fresno Philharmonic, assistant principal, down south, Santa Barbara Symphony, here in the Bay Area, oh Lord, Monterey Symphony, Santa Cruz Symphony, Opera San Jose, I'm assistant principal, and Berkeley Symphony. Up in the mountains, Reno Philharmonic. I'm principal of Vallejo Symphony here in the East Bay, and finally principal of Waterloo Cedar Falls Symphony in Iowa.
You did it. You got through all 10.
Barely. There was a moment there, but yeah. Yes. I do love it. I'm energized. People ask me, Isaac, how do you play 100 concerts a year? Do all the teaching and the recording? And I say, well, because I'm energized.
And I think that anybody who comes to our concerts will see that love, because after you solo in the Haydn Concerto, you made a special request to me. And when you heard it was going to be the Dvorak Serenade, you said, oh, can I play in it?
It's one of these bucket list pieces for us string instrument players.
I remember when I was still in high school, I saw a concert with Pinky Zuckerman in the Mendelssohn Violin Concerto, and then he really wanted to sneak into the back of the second violin section of the San Francisco Symphony for the second half. And so there are a couple of people like you who just do that, even though they're a world-famous soloist. They say, can I play in the orchestra for the second half of the concert? And so you're in great company. So let's talk about, though, the piece you're actually going to be soloing in, the Haydn Cello Concerto in D. And I think you should, sort of let the whole world outside there know that there are kind of two famous Haydn concertos, the one in C and the one in D. And what made you pick the one in D over the one in C?
Oh, man. We'll backtrack here for all of our listeners. Peter called me, I think, in April or May of last year, and I was literally covered in dirt, transplanting a giant taro or something, right? So here I am, like, writhing around, getting my garden gloves off, try to pick up the maestro's phone call. And Peter says, hey, I'd love to have you do a Haydn concerto. Pick one, C or D. And I didn't hesitate at all. I said, well, it has to be the D major. So Haydn actually wrote, I think, 5 cello concertos.
Right.
Most of them for his friend and collaborator, Anton Kraft, who was the principal cellist of the Prince's Orchestra in Esterhazy. 3 of those are lost.
Yeah.
So we have today 2 extant cello concertos by Haydn. The C major, which is from around 1760-ish, fairly early in Haydn's career. It is a fabulous piece, extremely demanding, extremely virtuosic. The musical language is not fully developed yet. It sounds more like post-Bach than real classical.
Right.
But in the D major concerto, it is a fully fledged Viennese classical era work. The lyricism, the virtuosity, the beauty of form. It's an absolutely first-rate piece of music. It's hard as heck for the cellist, but it's worth it.
Yeah, well, you're going to make it sound incredible. I guess our viewers should know that I'm going to be doing it the way they sometimes did it back then. I'm going to be conducting from the harpsichord. I'll be making up little doodlies at the keyboard, and we'll be having a lot of fun together.
It's going to be fabulous.
Now, let's talk about some of those other facets of your career. In addition to the zillion orchestras and the fact that you're going to be soloing, you also mentioned recording and chamber music.
Well, we could talk about recording first. I have 3 CDs out. They will be available in the lobby.
Oh, really?
I have a vinyl LP coming out probably at the end of 2023. I just did a vinyl. It's coming back, Peter. Oh, it's all the rage now. All the kids are doing it.
Wow.
I just did a very cool recording of the Elliott Carter cello sonata with multiple camera video. I was over at the videographer's house last week, picking the camera angles. Oh, what makes my receding hairline look best? All the good stuff, right? That was a very recent project. I'm very lucky. I get to play a lot of great chamber music, usually over the summer.
There's one particular chamber music partner that you play with. I wonder if you could go into that in a little bit more detail.
Yes, I married her. My wife, Allison Lee, is a wonderful professional pianist. Everybody always told me, even when I was a kid, Isaac, marry a pianist.
And you did.
Yes, and I did. And I took their advice and I married a pianist. It's just such an honor to, collaborate on stage and off. She makes me a better player. I learn things every time I play with her.
Okay, let's get into it here. So when you're rehearsing with your wife / pianist / collaborator, do the discussions ever get past the point of politeness, or are you always copacetic with each other? How does that work?
I think anyone who is in business with his or her spouse or partner knows, yes, the discussions get past the point of politeness sometimes. And I think Allison would say the same thing. And I would say, frankly, we've gotten better.
You don't have to gift wrap all the suggestions and comments, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, you're out of tune. Hey, you're rushing. Okay. All right.
And so we know that you're wonderful as a soloist and as a collaborator, and we're just really looking forward to working with you in just a couple of weeks.
That's right. I'm looking forward to, Peter. I'll see you. I'll see everyone watching. I'll see you there.
Okay. Great to see you.